Hello, everyone. My name is JJ. I'm a reader, a writer, and a book lover, and I want to talk goals. Happy New Year! It's 2026. Let's talk about where we've been, what we're doing. I know it's been a little bit since I posted, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update as well of where I'm at. Things that I really liked about what happened last year, things that I want to get back into this year. So, without further ado, let's take a look back at 2025. Things that went really well for 2025. I had a lot of really good things happen in my personal life that I'm not quite ready to share here yet, but I'm really optimistic and I really am enjoying where things are in my personal life. That does mean that I haven't been here quite so often, and it does mean that my time has been going other places as well. And it's all things that I'm glad of, right? Again, it's all very good things. It's just that I haven't been writing as much as I had been previously. So that is one of my goals for 2026 is to work writing routinely back into my schedule. Another thing that I am aiming for in 2026 is I really want to have a book for you guys by 2027. I don't know if that's going to be a book that I self publish, or I don't know if that's going to be a book that I publish professionally some way, shape, or form through an agent or otherwise. I am excited about the idea of having a book that I wrote that I can hold up in these videos and tell you about. That is something that I am aiming to accomplish this year, is to get my plans in place for whatever that looks like. Decide which books, finish things out, decide what extra content, decide what that looks like. If that happens, things on this channel might be shifting a little bit because I'll have books for you to read. And in that, things would be a little bit different. But I am excited about those opportunities and I'm really excited about what that would look like. So I'm still figuring out all of the details. So I don't have any details at this time for what that would look like, but I do want to have a book for you guys that you guys can have by 2027. I want to get back to regular videos. I don't know if that's going to be monthly or every other week, or if I can get into it frequently enough that it's like every week here's a new video. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet, but I do want to get back into routine videos because I really do love this. I love talking with you guys. I love sharing my journey. I love talking about the books that I'm reading. I love talking about the shows that I'm watching, the movies that I'm seeing. And I really want to dive into those stories more like this more frequently. And I want to do it routinely. So, whatever that looks like, I don't know yet, but that's one of my goals is to figure out a routine posting schedule. If it is something like monthly, I'll probably have one dedicated video a month and then also have additional content between. So it would be like the first week of the month, you can count on a video. And then after that, it would be a lot more like just spontaneous. I have something else to say, so here you go. And that might turn into something more routine, right? That might go from one video per month to 2 videos per month to whatever it looks like. I just don't know yet what my availability for content creation will look like. But that's another thing that I kind of want to talk to you guys about and I want your feedback on. Oftentimes, my videos tend to be in the 10 to 25-minute range. Do you feel like that's too long? Should I go shorter? Are you guys chill with a 5-minute video every once in a while if you got more 5-minute videos as opposed to one 20 to 30-minute video? Is that something you would be interested in? Because I want to try to make shorter form content that's still like long form videos, but I also want to get into a lot more shorts, right? YouTube shorts in particular, I think would be a really fun way to connect with you guys more often and kind of grow my audience a little bit differently. So right now we're at get back into writing routinely. Again, I don't know if that's once a month, every week, every day. I don't know what that looks like, but I want to get back into it super routinely going into this year. I want to post more frequently and routinely. I want it to be consistent. Even if that's only 12 videos this year, that's 7 more videos than I made last year. I have some things that I have on the docket that I just haven't gotten around to, so you can keep up with different book reviews, movie reviews. What do you guys come to my channel for? Right? Tell me in the comments whether that's the reviews, whether that's the insights to different storytelling techniques. Did you come here for publishing advice and then I've shifted away from that? What do you guys come to this channel for? Because I do want to give you what you're looking for, but I don't know exactly what that is because I've been kind of hopping around. I mean, I've had this channel since 2018. We're on our 8-year birthday here. Those of you who have stuck around a long time, from the very beginning, maybe even, you guys have seen all of the different iterations. You've seen me with short hair, you've seen me with long hair, you've seen me with red hair, like you've seen me with 4 different pairs of glasses by this point, because life changes and things change as we go on. I'm just curious, like obviously I'll make the content that I want to make, but I do also want to give you the content that you came here for. So if you guys can help me out and tell me what kind of content you're most here for, that would be super helpful. Yeah. Books, movies, stories. That's often what I'm here for. But for a while, I was doing like poetry reflections where I would read a poem from the public domain and then reflect on it live in real time and just sit with it for a little bit. Was that something that you guys enjoyed? I think it's really important to read widely and to read all sorts of different things. I never want to get too stuck into one genre or one way of thinking because as soon as you do that, you kind of limit your understanding of how words can work and even what is capable for books to do. So tell me what kind of content you want because I do want to get back into making routine content and I want to know what you're interested in so that I can give you the kind of content you're interested in, right? Yeah, that's easy. That's step 1 or step 3 or whatever. Of the goals, that one's a more easy goal. Another goal for this year, that's a personal kind of target goal. I want to read more books. I read a dismal number of books last year and it made me sad. So I'm going to try to prioritize consistent reading time as well. I don't know how many books that'll be. My Goodreads goal this year is 5. So if your Goodreads goal is more than 5, you're more ambitious than me. I wanted to set a goal that I'm quite sure I can meet, and I'm hopeful that I can actually do that because last year, I don't know how many books I actually read, and that makes me a little bit sad. And it's not to say that I'm not doing important things. I am. I'm doing a lot of really important things, but reading more books, writing more books, doing more of this are all things that are important to me, and I want to move them back up in my priority list. Do you like hearing about books that are coming out ahead of time, or do you just want to hear about the books that I'm reading? Do you want to hear my thoughts on the books, or do you just want to hear, like, hey, here's some books that you might want to put on your list because they caught my eye? So what kind of content are you interested in from that? Like, are you way more interested in reviews, or are you much more interested in staying up with what's happening in the genre, both in film and in books? I think that's an interesting combination there. Are you here for writing advice? Tell me what you're here for. Okay. Other goals of things that I want to do this year. I would really like, I'm super pleased. Last time I checked, which things could always change, but last time I checked, I have over 200 of you now subscribed. That's so fun. Welcome. Hello. New content. It's so fun to have you here. I would really like to grow, to have this channel grow and meet more people. One of the best ways that you guys can help me meet that goal is to share my videos with the people that you think would enjoy them, whether that's friends, family. If I read a book that you also read and you're like, yep, you would also like these books, please comment. That also helps tell YouTube that I'm making interesting things. And, in the world of content creation, getting the algorithms on your side is a very important element. And so, as much as I hate to be blunt and upfront about it, I would rather be blunt than try to find a new creative way to say what we were always hearing on every other channel if you spend any time on YouTube at all, right? Those are the goals. Those are the main goals. Read more. Read more. I'm thinking I want to aim for at least 20 pages every weekend. That seems reasonable because, okay, here's the thing. Goals only work when they're actually specific. Reading more is too squishy of a goal. I want to spend time reading every weekend. I don't know how many pages or how long, but I want to spend time reading every single weekend. There we go. That's thing 1. Thing 2, I want to spend time writing every single month. If I can get more specific, I will, but usually when I sit down to write, it's 2 or 3 hours at a time. So at minimum, I want to be writing every single month. We'll just see what my schedule actually looks like. My schedule is different now than it was when I started doing that. And the thing about life is that life changes, priorities change, time allotments change, availability changes, and focuses change. So as my focus is shifting back toward working toward this part of my career, that also means that my priorities are shifting a little bit. And that means that my time assessment and allotments are going to change, right? And that's all good things, but it's good that they flow, ebb and flow. That's an important element of life. And I don't want you to feel bad if your priorities in life change and things flow differently than you're used to, right? That is a natural part of living. And it's something that I've been learning, especially as I'm like, wow, I used to make so many videos. Like in college, I was so good about doing at least one video every week. I was so good about finding something to make a video about. And what I'm also seeing is that some of those videos were kind of meh. They weren't really worth making. That is another goal. I want to give you the content that's actually worth making. The content that I release, I want to be good. I don't want it to just exist for the sake of existing. I want it to be good content, helpful, beneficial, intuitive, right? Those are the things that I want it to be giving you as I'm making content more frequently. So it's not just spending time writing, it's not just spending time reading. This is the schedule in which I want to do it. And also, when I'm making content, I want to be making content that's actually worth making, as opposed to just like, here's content for the sake of content. Some things are more worth your time than others, and I would rather give you something that's worth your time. Read more, specifically every weekend. Write more, specifically at least once a month. Ideally more than that, but we're going to start with once a month and get back into a habit. Personal goal, exercise more. I live a very stagnant lifestyle. That is the case when you read books, publish books, work on books. You sit at a desk a lot. I really want to spend more time moving this year. I was doing pretty good about that last year, and then last year was a weird year. 2025, lots of really good things happened, and also a few really hard things happened. Like I had multiple surgeries. Everything's fine. I got through them just fine. Life is better since having them. But that also impacted my ability to make content the way that I hoped to, whether that's reading or writing or videos, right? I was doing a lot more consuming last year than I was creating, which is fine. That's a normal part of life. Again, ebbs and flows, good, healthy, normal. However, I'm hopeful that this year I spend less time in doctors' offices and more time doing the things that I love and things that I am hoping for. So that's a goal. That's a personal goal, but one of the things that I can do to help achieve that goal is to be more active. Don't live stagnant lifestyles. Make sure that you move. It's good for you. Not that moving could have solved all of my issues, but it certainly could help with a lot of them. So that's something that I'm aiming for, is to move more frequently this year. One of those very normal New Year's resolutions is to exercise more, but it is what it is. This year, I am really excited. Looking ahead at 2026, I have more teaching and more conferences scheduled than I have had in the past. I know that there's some that I go to every year, but I actually get to teach at some that I go to every year this year instead of just attending. So that will be super fun. I'm trying to find new ideas for content. As an educational channel, I've pretty much made the things that I want to make. I've already taught you most of the things that I want to teach. A lot of those videos exist and they're out there, and some of you have probably found me because of those videos. I've started switching away over the last few years. I've started shifting toward more entertainment content, right? Analyzing different stories, talking about the things that I love. And that's a very important part for me in this channel, is that it's always based out of passion. I want this channel to always be something that I'm talking about positive things, the things that I want out of a book, the things that I love out of a book. I don't like sharing negativity, and I would much rather share positivity. So, thinking in that lens, what are the things that intrigue you? Do you want book reviews that are 90% positive? Because I'm going to tell you about the things that I liked. I might tell you about the things that I'm like, okay, the writing could have benefited here, but it's never going to be a judgment on the author, and it's never going to be a judgment on their style, because sometimes that's just what it is. It's a difference of style. Anyway, those are my goals for 2026. Lots of good things happen in 2025, some hard things too, but mostly good things. I'm excited to get back into creating more in 2026. If I were to sum it up, that's what the goal is to create more. to be more present here and also offline. Somehow I'm going to strike a balance of increasing both. I don't know if that's going to work, but that's one of the goals. And trying my best to create a space where people can gather to talk about the books that I'm reading, the books that you're reading, the books that you recommend, the shows that you've been enjoying. I really want to have a space where nerd culture is just fully flourishing. So while this channel is a lot about mystery, thriller, and suspense, there's going to be times that I dip my toe outside of that, right? Like the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is coming out this year. I'm very excited about that. On the other hand, The Odyssey is also coming out this year. I am very excited about that movie. You can almost guarantee that if there's a Marvel movie, I'm going to talk about it. But I also want to talk about some of these other things, right? So, this is kind of a grab bag entertainment channel talking about books, movies, podcasts, audio dramas, mostly fiction. I don't usually talk nonfiction. But of my goals this year, read more, write more, make more videos. Anyway, those are my goals for 2026. What are some of your goals? Are you trying to read more books? Are you trying to read more widely? Are you looking to engage in other types of media, right? Audiobooks versus podcasts, or even just like different genres, right? Different age ranges. Sometimes it's really fun to just say, okay, I'm in the mood to read a middle grade novel. That's the plan today, right? What are your goals? I want to hear about them. Creative, personal, whatever it is, right? I'm curious how we can support each other, and also I'm really glad that you're here. It's been really fun to have this channel be such a consistent part of my life, even if it's just, a slowly building brick by brick kind of thing. I think that's the best way that it stays healthy for both of us, right? For you, for me, for everybody involved in both my life and otherwise. So I'm really glad that this is a slow brick by brick kind of thing. I don't think that we ever stop growing up. I don't think we ever stop learning. I don't think we ever stop really paying that much attention to how we're developing. And if at any point we stop learning and growing and developing, we've stagnated in a bad way. I think life is best lived when we are constantly learning, growing, trying new things, stretching our muscles in different ways. I think that's one of the things that's most inspiring to me about Hank Green as a person. The man has never found a job that he's not willing to try once. And he excels at almost everything he does, to the point of opening doors and then doing the thing so successfully and then saying, okay, that was fun, what's next? And leaving a bunch of people in his wake saying, wait, come back and do that more. Right? That's how I feel about his books. I really want him to write more fiction. I don't know that he will, and I can't force him to. But Hank, if you ever see this, and if you do, say hi. I would panic, but also in a good way. Please write more books. Your books are amazing, and your understanding of society is what makes them so. And you're a huge role model for me in all sorts of ways. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. I want to apologetically be a fangirl in this space of the things that I love, right? Whether that's Doctor Who or Edgar Allan Poe or crime suspense or Marvel, even. I think the world is better when we're able to unapologetically be excited about things. And that's something that I'm really hopeful for doing more of in 2026. It's the kind of thing that I love doing most, right? Is being excited about the things that I'm watching, reading. I want other fans to gather around with me and do it with me. And sometimes that means I'm shouting into the void about a book that nobody knows about. Other times that means that I'm like joining in the chorus and saying, Suzanne Collins did it again, right? Those are my goals for 2026. Those are the things that I'm most excited for. 2025 was quite the year. Glad it happened. Glad it's behind me. I think that's the case for a lot of people. Hopefully, fingers crossed, 2026 is going to be a lot more steady and stable and also exciting in all of the right ways. I have some really big things planned, and I'm really hopeful for a bunch of really big things. So stick it out, stick with me, and let's just see where we can go together. That's my goal here, is just to see what all we can accomplish together. Okay, until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.